Hey, great day inside of Neyland Stadium. Awesome that anytime you get an opportunity to go in there, just there's only one way that we should compete when we walk into that stadium. Proud of a lot of the things that we did on both sides of the football. Overall, I thought defensively played with great effort, energy, strain, competed extremely hard, tackled well in space. A lot of really positive things from them. Offensively, showed glimpses of those things, didn't string it together the way that we want to or need to, but a lot of things that we'll be able to learn from here as we move forward. And you look at it, and we're halfway through training camp here, and got to keep pushing. So need this to be a great afternoon too, just growth as we go back and look at the tape.
Questions? We'll start with Mike Wilson and then Austin Price.
Yeah, Josh, what is Brian Maurer's status with the team at this point, and why was he absent from practice yesterday?
Yeah, I just had an initial conversation with him at some point a few days ago as far as the reps and how those things were going to be divided up. No further update on him. We'll have a conversation with him during the off day here.
Coach, just break down kind of what your thoughts on the quarterbacks were, the three that were there, and just kind of with Joe's first time going through things, how did he manage, the offense?
I thought he managed things really well inside of the pocket. For Joe, excuse me, and Hendon, and for Harrison, some of it's tough because you're not in a live situation. Are they going to make a play? Are you going to be able to get out of the pocket? Those types of scenarios. But I thought all of them did a great job of taking care of the football. Were efficient in calling it for the most part. I thought their decision making and what we're doing in the run game and controlling the pass game too was pretty solid. At the end of the day, I don't think offensively we collectively strung things together the way that we need to. Some of that is just 11 guys all doing their job at a really high level. It's not one position, one guy. It was a little bit of everything at all points in it. Through the first 7 days, I thought all those guys have competed really well and really been sound decision makers.
Coach, just how would you assess the physicality today? And you mentioned halfway through fall camp almost, just the physicality halfway through fall camp and then today in the scrimmage.
Yeah, I like the attitude and mentality that our players have stepped on the practice field every single day with, certainly leading up to the scrimmage. I think that's been one of the positives as we have gone through camp. Our competitive strain is completely different than it was during the course of spring ball. The ability to put back-to-back days together. I thought today, physicality-wise, just on the sideline, not getting a chance to watch the tape, I thought the defensive side of the football was extremely physical, changed and disrupted the offensive front, played on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and again, they tackled extremely well. You didn't see many missed tackles during the course of play.
Adam Sparks, Knox News. Follow up on Brian Maurer. Did he take part in the scrimmage or practice today?
He did not, no.
He did not. And secondly, you talked about the offensive tempo, things not being stringed together completely. Can you see the light at the end of the tunnel there, though?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, like offensive football, I don't care what tempo you're playing at, you got to be efficient, right? And that means 11 guys got to do their job. You don't, you're going to be on the wrong side of it. Whether it's a drop ball, whether it's a busted protection, create negative plays. You got to be able to string things together, and we've seen that throughout training camp. Today you didn't see it consistently at the level that we certainly want it to be, but absolutely feel like our guys are continuing to progress as we've gone through camp. There's some really good things out there from today too.
Jimmy and Brent.
A couple of things, Josh. Did you go at the tempo offensively that you wanted to today?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. At times, right? At times we didn't play as efficiently in the mechanics of playing with tempo, but some of that's getting the first down too, and early in the scrimmage there were a couple 3-and-outs, but collectively as a whole, the way that we operate on the offensive side of the ball, overall pleased with what we're doing.
And for clarification, do you consider Brian Maurer still a part of the team?
I had an initial conversation. I told you I'll give you guys an update here, after the off day.
Coach, over here, when you look at this as the head coach, and you're talking about offense and defense, are you more pleased?
Special teams too.
Well, I know, but let's talk about just the offense and defense part first. Are you more comfortable with the fact that your defense had a good day because this is your offense? It's been so good everywhere you've been. Is it more pleasing that your defense was improved today or had a good day, or do you look at it in
As
any
a
way?
coach,
like
I don't
that?
think you're ever comfortable and completely satisfied where you're at in any phase of what you're doing. You're constantly trying to push and get better. Offensively, there's been days and portions of practice where you've strung things together and you feel really good about the efficiency and how you're operating, and 11 guys playing as one. Defensively, they've had those same moments during the course of it. I think as a coach, you get concerned when it's one side of the football that is consistently dominating practices or scrimmages. There's been good back and forth, and I think our guys on both sides of the line of scrimmage have a much better understanding of what we're doing schematically, fundamentally, technique. We've continued to progress. Their practice habits have been really good. I think that's what brings a sense of confidence to myself, but our coaching staff too. There's a process that you got to go through. Our kids are straining and competing through that.
As a follow-up to that real quick, your defensive transfers, this was your first time
Yeah.
seeing them in that kind of situation.
Yeah, their first time in Neyland, certainly.
What's your takeaway?
I just think for all those guys, they've blended in immediately. And when I say that, you don't see them consistently out of gap, not being able to get a call and get lined up. You don't see issues with communication. They've blended right into what we're doing on all three levels. Really believe that all those guys are going to have an impact on what we're doing.
Eric Ventura.
I know you haven't had a chance to check the tape yet, but talking about the defense, the aggression that was there.
Yeah.
Did you see anything from the star position, Theo Jackson, Danico Slaughter, anything about those guys that stood out?
I thought those guys, made some plays. I don't remember a bunch of contested balls down the field that those guys had to make a bunch of plays on. Just offhand. Obviously, we'll go back and watch and have a better understanding of that. But I think that position as a whole has been really solid. They've shown up in every practice that we've had. Our scrimmage situations, I think they have a unique ability to play physical and be a factor in the run game as they become a fitter, but they have unique cover skills as well.
Josh, can you update the status of K'Ron Calvert and how that works into your offensive line, how you guys are going to start rotating a little bit more?
K'Ron did have surgery and will not be with us here for an extended period of time right now. I think, I've said it before, the strength of one position can't just be one guy. Certainly offensive line fits into that. Next guy's got to step up and take advantage of his opportunity and at the end of the day, compete and prove that he can play at a championship level.
Patrick in Austin.
Coach, a couple things. First, kind of following up on the quarterbacks, did you guys rotate them through each of your three groups?
They did, yeah. They just kind of cycled through. It was a guy maybe had a 3 and out. He might have got an extra drive just to keep the play count relatively close.
Okay, and kind of following up, what is maybe something you've learned about this team through these first, or even today, that maybe you didn't know going into camp?
I think I just look back to where we started, right? Just our sense of team, sense of competing for the guy, that's sitting next to me in the team room, that stands to the left or right in the locker room. I think there's a sense of becoming a team and it being bigger than just me. And ultimately, if you're going to have a football team that plays the right way, it's got to be about the guys around you, not about yourself.
For all the talk about you wanting to throw it around, you've always been pretty balanced. The running backs, what did you think of those guys today? And then you talked about, on the offensive side, you all kind of flashed at times. Were there any particular players that flashed more than others?
Yeah, for sure. Over the history of my tenure as a coordinator, or the last couple of years as a head coach, our skill guys have gotten a ton of recognition for what we've done through the air, but for us it all starts with what we do in the run game and operating extremely efficiently and being physical at the point of attack. We've ran the ball extremely successfully through my tenure as well, and I thought our offensive line at times did a really nice job of covering guys up. I don't think we distorted the line of scrimmage the way that we're capable of, maybe that we've shown during the course of some of the practices as well. I do like our running back room. I think Jabari, Small, Tyon, those guys are playing at a really high level, and excited to see some of the young guys that got an opportunity to play. Just look back and watch the tape.
Jacob Vince.
Coach Jake Nichols, Sports Illustrated. You've talked about the level of retention in this offense and how they've progressed from the spring. Have you seen any more evidence of that retention just today from the start of camp?
Yeah, certainly just in how we play ball mechanics, you see that, but also in the schemes that we're running, our ability to do the right thing, play with better technique. We've consistently improved. Where we finished spring ball was completely different than where we started. We got better throughout the course of summer. Day one was better than the end of spring ball. We've gotten better through the course of training camp too.
Cody Burns had mentioned the number one priority for the wide receivers was to catch the ball. What have you seen today and through camp in terms of them doing that, and anything else stand out about that group?
I'm glad Cody said that. You can do everything else right. It doesn't matter if you don't catch it when it comes to you. Our guys have made competitive plays throughout the course of training camp. Cedric Tillman's a guy that has made a bunch of competitive plays. Javonte's starting to get more comfortable in what we're doing, being a new guy. Those 15 practices that he missed in spring, he's just getting his feet in the ground and completely understanding what we're doing. His, history of having played in this league, I think helps him with just the competitive nature of it. Lining up, getting off man press and those types of things. We've seen it consistently throughout the course of training camp. I think there's some young guys that got to continue to push, climb, and make some more of those competitive plays. But that's a huge part of playing that position, and needs to be a huge part of our success, is being able to come down with that 50-50 ball.
Josh, could you say what percentage of offense you've installed so far, and the same for defense, what percentages have been installed so far?
We got a huge portion of it on both sides of the line of scrimmage, offense and defensively. I think as you go through the course of the season, you're going to continue to grow and evolve and find ways to attack people on the other side of the line of scrimmage as you game plan. There's no set playbook. This is all we do and only what we do. You got to continue to evolve as the game changes, as your opponent changes, and you find out more about your personnel.
I'm sure on offense you're giving everybody reps, but any problems that you saw today on the offense, how much do you foresee those being cleaned up once it's just ones and twos playing and you have your game day rotation?
I feel good about where we're going in the direction on the offense side of the ball. We got enough playmakers and guys are competitive and have a great understanding of what we're doing. It's a growth process, but we'll get where we want to get to.
Last two questions, Brent and Ben.
Yeah, Coach Kidd, you mentioned a couple of times the physicality of your defense, particularly up front. How far has that group come from maybe where you were at the end of your defensive front end of the spring to where you are now?
First day of pads, where we were at last spring to where we are now, it's a different group. It's different on the practice field, physicality, playing upfield, disrupting and changing the line of scrimmage. Most importantly, it's just a different group inside the meeting room. Who they are, accountability factor every single day, their consistency, their work habits, their ability to learn, their ability to want to play for the guy next to them and do it right, and accountability in that room is completely different. That's why it'll be different on the field too.
First scrimmage for Darnell at left tackle, just what you see out of him, and then with Darnell at left and Cade at right, what you think of kind of that group of five?
Yeah, I'll get a better chance to see it as you watch the video here this afternoon. I think Darnell's really natural on the left side of it. For him, he's athletic. He got the ability to bend. Has a chance to be an elite pass protector as well. And so overall, you feel good about where those two guys are at on your edges.
Thank you.